and welcome to the Visionary VA podcast, the go-to show for ambitious virtual assistants who are ready to stop trading their time for money and start scaling their businesses into thriving agencies. I'm Holly Copsey, founder of the award-winning agency Virtually Priceless and the Visionary VA Circle community. Each week, I'm here to bring you actionable strategies, proven systems, and mindset shifts to help you transition from a solo VA to a visionary agency owner. If you're ready to grow your business to dizzying new heights with less stress and more success, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Visionary VA podcast. Today, I want to discuss a topic that's close to my heart and honestly has been one of the biggest lessons I've learned on this journey. This episode is called Self-Belief Isn't Optional, Why Confidence Fuels Growth. Because if there's one thing that can either hold you back or propel you forward in your business, it's confidence. Every VA I've mentored, every associate I've worked with, every business owner I've met who's scaling, they've all had moments of doubt. I've had hundreds, if not thousands of them myself. Times when you question whether you're really cut out for this, whether you're charging too much, whether you really can take the next step. But growth doesn't happen in these moments of doubt. Growth happens when you back yourself anyway. When I first started my business, Virtually Priceless, I had a 3-year-old, a 9-month-old baby. I just separated from my husband, and honestly, everything felt so overwhelming. Rationally, it made no sense to launch a business at that point in my life. But I knew I had to believe in myself because nobody else was going to come along and give me permission. And I can tell you, the difference between me pushing through and building the business I have today versus giving up before I even started, that difference was confidence. It wasn't that I had all the answers. It wasn't that I knew exactly how it would play out. It was simply that I decided to back myself. So, why is self-belief so essential, especially if you're growing beyond a solo VA into leading a team or an agency? First, because your team takes their cue from you. If you don't believe in your vision, they won't either. Second, your clients feel it. If you're confident about your value and the results you deliver, they trust you. If you're hesitant, they hesitate too. And third, self-belief gives you the courage to take risks, to raise your rates, to say no to misaligned clients, to step into that bigger CEO role. Without confidence, you stay small. With it, you open doors you didn't even know were there. Now, confidence isn't something you either have or you don't. It's something you build like a muscle. So let me share a few strategies that have helped me along the way. Reframe failure. When things don't go to plan, instead of seeing it as proof you're not good enough, treat it as feedback. I often still remind myself of the phrase first attempt in learning. It's a great acronym to remember when you start having those doubts. Make sure you celebrate wins, even the small ones. It's so easy to brush past what's going well because you're already focused on the next challenge. But stopping to acknowledge progress builds self-belief brick by brick. And surround yourself with expanders, people who believe in you, cheer you on, and show you what's possible. That's one of the reasons I created the Visionary VA Circle, because you need a community that lifts you up. If you have people around you who are mood hoovers that won't do you any favours. And act before you feel ready. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes after. The more you do, the more you prove to yourself you can. Now, I'd love to say self-belief is a one and done thing, but it's not. Even now, after 7 and a bit years in business, there are days when I wobble. when a client relationship ends, when I get a difficult email, when I'm about to step on stage, when an issue with a team member crops up. But the difference now is that I've learned to catch those spirals more quickly, to remind myself of what I've achieved, to look at the evidence instead of listening to the fear, and to keep moving forward regardless. There's a really great quote I love by Carrie Fisher, the actress and writer. She said, "Stay afraid, but do it anyway. What's important is the action. You don't have to wait to be confident. Just do it, and eventually the confidence will follow." Isn't that great? So, if you're listening to this and doubting yourself right now, let this be the reminder you need. Self-belief isn't optional. Confidence will fuel your growth, and you don't need to have it all figured out to take the next step. You just need to trust yourself enough to start. If this is something that you struggle with, write down at least 3 things you've done in the past year that you're proud of, big or small. Keep that list close by, and when the doubt creeps in, remind yourself you've already done hard things. You can do the next one too. So, keep backing yourself because you're capable of more than you think. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Visionary VA podcast. I hope you're walking away with fresh ideas and inspiration to scale your VA business. Don't forget to check out our free mini course on building solid business foundations, perfect for setting your VA agency up for success without the overwhelm. You'll find the link in the show notes. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a review. See you next week.